So the first thing we're going to take a look at is our trips module. Once you're located in the trips module, you'll see that we have a list of all available trips. You'll be able to filter that by status of the trip, meaning draft, negotiation, confirmed, upcoming, active, recent, closed, lost, or canceled. We're going to take a look at a little bit more into the trip bar as we start going into trips. But this will be an ideal way to filter those trips on that list. Also, if you're an admin user, you'll be able to review your own trips or all trips from the agency. All you need to do is select this option. It's going to change the list and show you the entire trip database. If not, then you'll only have access to your trips or those trips that have been created on your behalf or for you. To create a trip in Travel Contact, all you need to do is click on Create Trip. That's going to bring forth a new window, and you'll see your required fields are always identified with a red asterisk. All you need to do is enter the trip name, enter a main contact from your database. If it's an already existing client, all you need to do is type in the name of that client, and we're going to do a search for you, select it from the results, and then you can bring forth the network associates or only add that specific client at this time. That is completely up to you. The other thing that is required is assigning a trip owner. So with that in mind, one of the things that we are going to cover in this webinar as well is going to be the ability to bring forth task list templates. So you'll see here that if I go down, click on this, I'm going to have all my task list templates that are available. I can select one, and then that's going to be brought forth when I create the trip. If not, I can click on Add New One and simply create a new task list. So for this, I can just say Madrid checklist, for example, and then simply start adding tasks from the embassy. For example, I can add a description, and I can add as many tasks as I need to. Once that has been added, that's going to be included in the trip, and you're going to be able to manage it from the task docs and files section of the trip. So that being said, for the purpose of making the most of this webinar, I'm going to show you a trip that's already been built, and I'm going to show you how to add different things to those sections, but we'll take a look at a trip that already has a lot of information. First, we're going to land in the dashboard section. This is going to be a summary of the trip. You'll see everything from how many clients are taking the trip, when the booking started, what's the stage or status of the trip. If there's a trip type, you'll see it as well here. Start date and end date for that trip, agent responsible, main contact for the trip. And then we're just going to give you a little graphic view of everything that's related to costs, commissions, payments, and pending invoices on this specific trip. In this box right here, you'll be able to see how many types of services we have, and you'll see that we have all trip services, all type of services right here, and then you'll have the amount of those individual services and the status for those services as well. Also, you're going to see our status bar, which is this bar that's right here on top, and you'll see here that no matter which section I navigate through in the trip, it's always going to remain and accompany me through the entire trip. So you'll see here that, for example, we're going to have a brief summary of the trip, total cost, total commission, the ability to import from GDS from anywhere in the trip, and then we're going to have our status bar. Every trip that we create in Travel Contact is going to automatically become a proposal draft. We can manually move that to negotiation when we're dealing with different details with our clients, and then we're going to manually move it to confirm by confirming at least one of the services of the trip. After that, 1 week before the trip begins, it's going to become automatically an upcoming trip. Once the first date of the first service arrives, it's going to become inactive, and then automatically once the last date of the last service arrives, it's going to become a recent. At any point, I can cancel this trip. I can mark it as lost before confirmation, and after it's recent, I can mark it as closed when I received all payments and there's nothing else to be expected from the trip. That being said, let's take a look at the client section. Right here, you'll be able to add as many clients as you need from your database. You'll be able to type any type of name, and it's going to do a search in your database, and then all you need to do is select them, and they're going to be added to the trip. You can look for as many clients as you need right here from the client section, or if the client you want to add is not included on your database, you can go ahead and add a new client right away. All you need to do is add new and then follow the required fields for adding new clients to Travel Contact. Those are going to be a first name, a last name, and finally a method of contact. It could be an email address, it could be a main traveler, or it could be a phone number. So just to review the statuses of the trip, after you have the clients, you'll have them right here, but just a quick review of the statuses. When you have a confirmed trip, it's going to automatically become an upcoming trip 1 week before the first service of the trip begins. And then it's going to become active when that first date of any service arrives. So that's the way you're going to add clients. You're going to have them right here. You'll be able to review them, and then you'll see that we have the groups option. So basically, groups in Travel Contact are going to refer to those paying groups that you want to create for your clients. In that sense, you can split the costs further down the line, and then you can assign them to different groups, and you can manage those groups from this section at any point that you want to add. Right here, you'll see that all I need to do is click on Add New Group, and then I'll be able to add, create groups and divide my clients between groups. In this sense, I already created those groups, and there's going to be 2 clients per group. This can be edited. You may select the main client. You can remove clients from the group at any point and add them to different groups. You can add description to the groups. So right here, I, for example, could say these are the Conways. And then I'm going to save that description. And then this are going to be the Gaffneys, for example. So in that sense, I can keep all my descriptions for the group. I can manage all groups. I can remove clients from the group, add them to different groups. You basically will be able to manage. As long as you have clients that are not on groups, you'll always be able to create a new group. You'll see here that once you have added all clients to the group, you're going to get this message. All clients in the trips are already assigned to groups. To create a new group, you must remove clients from the existing groups or add more clients to the list. That being said, we're going to move forward to the service section. In the service section is where you'll actually create the services for the trip. You'll see here that I already have confirmed services. To add a service to Travel Contact to our trip, all you need to do is click on Add Service, and you'll see we have 3 different ways of adding services to a trip. So the first one is going to be a quick add. This is going to be the way that requires the least amount of information. So you'll see here that all I need to do to add a quick add is select the type of service. I'll enter the supplier name. It's going to bring it forth from the supplier database that I have. I'm going to select the start date for this. So let's say this is going to be September 17th. End date the same day. All 4 clients are going, and now I'm going to enter the cost for this. So let's say I'm receiving the payment to the payments going to the agency. Total cost for this for the 4 of them, it's going to be €1,000. The net type is going to be gross because it already includes commission. I'm going to select a percentage and say I'm getting a 10% commission for this. I'm not going to add a markup at the moment, and then you see that I can continue to add as many services as I want in this format. So after adding all this information again, I can add another service and another service, and that's going to give me the ability to add as many services at once as I need with the most basic information that I actually need to create a service. You can actually skip the cost and just add the basic features of this service. So you can add only the supplier, the start date, and which clients are taking that service, and then enter the cost further down the line. After I'm ready and I've added as much services as I needed to or I wanted to, I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. So that service is going to show up in a proposal state, as I was telling you before. The payment to the agency, everything here seems about right. So I'm going to go ahead and actually confirm and invoice this service. You'll notice that in Travel Contact, we do have 2 options. You can either pay to the supplier or pay to the agency. When the payment is going to the agency, you'll be able to confirm and invoice that service. If the payment is going to supplier, you'll only be able to confirm it and not generate an invoice, because since you're not receiving any money, it doesn't make any sense for you guys to generate invoices, but you'll be able to create quotes. So by clicking on Actions, you'll be able to create a quote right here. In that quote, you can add all services. You can only add services that payments going to the supplier. In that sense, the quote is going to be your ability to create a comprehensive document to send to your client. That's going to include everything they have on that trip regarding, total, for example, budget for the trip, how much it's going to cost them, including services, if it doesn't matter if the payment is going to the agency or the supplier. However, invoices per se will only be able to be generated for trips or services that payment is going directly to the agency, so meaning you guys are receiving the money. That being said, after I add this service in a quick add, let's take a look at the advance. Advance is going to require a little bit more information in this sense. So for example, if I wanted to add a flight, all I need to do is first select the advance option, select the type of trip that I'm adding, the type of service I'm adding, then I'm going to select, for example, the type of flight, in this case, one-way round trip, or multiple destinations. In this case, I'm going to say round trip. I'm going to choose an airline for this, and I'm going to say it's going to be Iberia. In that sense, I'm going to enter the departing city. It's going to be Madrid. The arrival city, it's going to be Madrid, as I was saying. Now you get to select the airport. The arrival city, it's going to be San Sebastian. And I'm going to choose that airport. The departure date is going to be, let's say, August 14th. The arrival date is going to be the 14th, and then the return date, I'm going to have them returning on the 17th and the 17th. So you'll see here that I already needed to add a little bit more information, and I have the ability to select if this was a round trip or just a one-way ticket. Now I get to take a look at who are the clients that are actually going on the trip. I can actually add information for the trip regarding seat, class, and ticket number if I wanted to. I'm going to click on next, and now I'll be able to add the cost information for the service. If I don't want to add the cost information, all I needed to do was click on save and continue later, and then the basic things of the trip of the service will be saved, and then you'll be able to add the information regarding cost at any point. But right here, I'm going to actually go ahead and say the payment is going to the agency. Do I want to split the cost between the groups? I'm going to say yes. And that's going to give you the option of dividing exactly this between the groups. So I just want to show you real quick. That is something that we cover in the advanced trip webinar. So for right now, I'm going to remain at no. I can change the currency if I wanted to. Also something that we review in the advanced trip and accounting webinar. Right here, I'm going to select the pay type, the total cost of the service. It's going to be 400 euros, 400, sorry. Is there a commission to receive? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to define it by percentage and say it's going to be 20%. Is the tax included? Let's say no and add that tax. So it's going to be 7%. And then finally, additional markup or service fee, I'm going to leave that at no and then click on Save Changes. So now you'll see that it shows up again. I can choose if I want to confirm an invoice right away or just leave it a proposal while I negotiate with my client. That is completely up to you guys in the process. In this sense, I'm going to say confirm. I'm going to add this to an existing invoice. I'm going to click on next and select this invoice. And now I'm going to add that service to that invoice. That is something that we also review in the advanced webinar that we have for trips, accounting, and invoice generating. Once everything is set up, there's one remaining way to create a service in Travel Contact, which is importing from GDS. If you have your PNR code, all you need to do is enter it here. And once you enter that PNR code, you'll simply have to answer the cost information and match all your clients that are on that PNR reservation down to the ones in your database. But it's just a select process. So I add my PNR. It's going to show the information. I choose who the payment is going to. And then basically what we're going to do is say, if, for example, in the PNR code, you're going to have, Lauren Bacall, then I just need to say, okay, this Lauren Bacall already exists on my database, so it's her. And then simply click, and add the trip, and it's going to show up exactly this way. So nothing is going to change in that sense. It's going to be adding a trip exactly the same way. All you need to do is go through first the process of adding that GDS number. That PNR number, I'm sorry. Every time I add a service in Travel Contact, I'm going to go ahead and generate that invoice. I'm going to generate an itinerary for you, and it's going to be added. We have a very basic itinerary generated in Travel Contact, which is going to be a timeline. that covers the entire trip. And you're going to see a general timeline that is going to apply to all travelers, and then you're going to see individual itineraries for each one of the travelers that is taking that trip. So that is going to help you basically, if you have travelers who are not taking all of the services, you can send them their own individual itineraries at any point. You'll see here that every time we have our itinerary, you can actually go ahead and choose three things to do with that itinerary. You can send it directly from the platform. It's going to be sent on your behalf using the email address that you have on your profile, with cost or without cost. You can download this summary as a PDF with cost or without cost, or you can go ahead and publish this to UMAP. So if you publish this to UMAP, you're going to be able to work using their web itinerary. Of course, and this is something that we just wanted to cover real quick. So if I say publish to UMAP, but any service was added through the quick add, type of adding services or that mechanism, then it's going to ask you a few little details before you can actually go ahead and publish that to UMAP. So I'm going to say here, let's save. This brings something up. Now I'm going to click on save, and right here, let me check what's missing. So let's say departing city, Madrid, and arrival city, Sebastián. And now I save. So you'll see here that automatically it's going to generate what it's called the online itinerary from UMAP. And you'll be able to take a look at it, review it, and then choose to send it to a client or keep working with all the features that that UMAP is going to give you or allow you to use. So you'll see here that you'll have the entire itinerary from the UMAP application. Of course, you can take this this online itinerary, or you can go ahead to Trip Publisher, enter the trip, and continue using all of their features. And we cover the basics of this in our webinars. And of course, you can register for UMAP's own webinars, which is going to give you a lot more information on how to get the best of the tool that they use. That being said, we're going to go ahead and check the accounting section. That accounting section is going to give you the ability to actually manage all your invoices, supplier payments, and commission. And of course, you'll be able to review them at any point. You'll be able to click on actions and enter a payment, view that invoice, edit it, or delete it. Viewing that invoice, basically, it's going to look a little bit like this, and you'll be able to keep track of all payments for that specific invoice and that specific trip. You'll be able to see everything in that invoice, and you'll be able to download this invoice as a PDF in order to be sent to your client at any future location if you wanted to do so. Or if you're using our QuickBooks integration, then everything will be updated in QuickBooks, and then you'll be able to send invoices with payable links and continue using all the features that QuickBooks offers you guys through the platform. What else can we do right now? Well, of course, we can take a look back and review, and then just take a look at supplier payments. You'll be able to manage direct to supplier or agency to supplier and review those two types of payments right here. And finally, you'll be able to review any commission information, know exactly when something is being paid, what is still outstanding, and what has been paid at any point. You'll be able to review that right here. And then as a quick intro, we're going to show you in this webinar, just as we're about to finish, is going to be the transactions report or module. Basically here, you'll be able to take a look at all the different service reports, commission reports, and invoice reports. In the service reports, you'll be able to see everything that you've sold on a specific date range. You can modify this to go as further back as you need to. And then you'll be able to see all the data that we have right here, all the services sold, all that raw data in this specific section. You can export this at any point as a CSV file, and then you can continue to apply any type of filters that you might need. For the commissions report, it's going to work just exactly the same, but we're going to have three different sections within that. So you'll see here that I'm going to have not received which means the agency has not received the payment for that commission. Not paid is going to show you everything that has been received by the agency but not paid to the agent yet. And finally, paid to the agent means that the agent already received them, and you'll be able to see all that information, and you'll be able to apply the same data filters, and you'll be able to export this as well. And finally, we have our reports module, which is going to show you all that raw data that we have in the transactional module. Is going to show it to you a little, a little bit prettier and more organized with pie charts and graphs. And you can take a look at different reports that we have right here that we'll build for you. You can actually go through them. Expected commission, commission to be received, then the difference between the agency commission and the agent commission. And you can take a look at different reports that we're going to generate for you guys. So in this sense, for example, supplier for me, it's one of the coolest one in the sense that it can show you exactly how much business you're generating by type of supplier. And of course, you can go ahead and take a look at deeper dive into that in the sense that if you're going to go ahead and, of course, this has to be played with the date range as well. But if I go back, let's say 2 months, and I choose login, for example, it's going to show me exactly which suppliers are the ones that I'm sending business to, and I can just take a look at the exact amount of money I'm generating for each one of them. So that's going to give you a great tool for either getting better deals or getting amenities or upgrades for your clients, or basically a better commission spread. If that would be something that would be possible to negotiate. As usual, every time you have a doubt or you want to review something further down the line, we do have our help center here. You can type anytime, any type of doubt that you might have. For example, if I wanted to know how to add a service, it's going to do a search on our database, and then you can go ahead and click on any result, and you're going to have videos or step-by-step guides or frequently asked questions. You can actually expand this and go to our Send This page. In that Send This page, you're going to be able to navigate through the entire help center that we have. So you'll see here that we have upcoming webinars, all of our videos, everything segmented by section. You can take a look at anything that you might need in order to understand and get to know the platform a little better. If you guys are still having a problem with anything in the platform, you can go ahead and contact us at any point. So you'll be able to add your name, your email address, and how can we help you. And you can add up to five attachments. So if you're getting an error or something that's wrong with the platform, you can take a screenshot and send it to us, attach it to that communication, and we'll be able to review a little bit better what's going on your side. Also, the Learning Academy is a guided flow in the sense that, for example, if I wanted to add a trip, as I said before, I wanted to add a service or wanted to add something, I just type in that add service right here, and that is something that is going to take me a guided tour through the entire platform and show me exactly where I need to type. So let's say that I wanted to add users to my agency, for example, if that was the case. If I click on that, it's going to show me and take me step by step where I should be clicking in order to achieve that or actually complete that function or feature that I'm trying to do in Travel Content.